Welcome to Technical Academy. I am Kapil Chauhan. This is our lecture number 27 in Electronic Devices and Circuits. In this lecture, we will be studying about the light emitting diode. So in light emitting diode, we will start with introduction to LEDs, and then we will see that what is the working of the LED, what are the basic principle of working of the LEDs, and then we will study about the different types of the LEDs. So let us start our presentation with introduction to LEDs. So LEDs are special purpose diodes, special purpose PN junction diode. It means they are specially designed for some specific works, and there are various applications of the LEDs in our daily lives, and we are very much familiar with the LEDs. So different applications of the LEDs we will see in the different lecture. And a light emitting diode LED is a semiconductor light source that emits light when current flows through it. So if we supply the current through the LEDs, then it will emit the light. And how the light is emitted? So electrons in the semiconductor recombines with the holes. So due to this phenomena, they will release energy in the form of the photons, and thus we get the energy from the LEDs. So in the next slide we will be studying about the working of the LEDs. So you can see this is the picture of the LEDs. You might have seen LEDs in your homes and in various appliances and in electronic devices also. These LEDs are used for indicator purpose. So this is green, blue and red LEDs. So there are different types of LEDs. Now we will be studying about the working of the LEDs. So basically LED works in only one forward bias condition. It means if we apply the reverse bias condition in the LEDs, then it will not work, it may be damaged. The light emission takes place only in the radiative transitions. That means radiative transition means emission of the energy in the form of light and heat. So light emission is only possible in radiative transition, and radiative transition takes place only in the direct band gap semiconductor. So if we want to construct a LED, then for this purpose we need to use direct band gap of semiconductor. If we will use another semiconductors, then radiative transition will not take place, so we will not be able to get light. And now we will see that how the light is emitted. So whenever the forward biasing is applied to the LED, then the number of free electrons from N side will combine with the holes in the P side, and similarly the number of holes from the P side will jump to the N side, and then they will recombine with each other. So before recombining, when the forward potential is applied, before recombining, the electrons in the valence band, before recombining with the holes, they will emit energy in the form of the photons, and hence the light will be obtained from the LED. And this process is known as electroluminescence. You need to remember this point. This process is known as electroluminescent. So this is the basic principle that how the light is emitted from the LEDs. Now we will talk about the forward biasing of the diode. So you can see in this picture, this is the forward biased LED, and here the number of electrons from the free electrons from this side are recombining with the holes, and number of holes are recombining with the electrons, and due to the electron hole recombination, they are radiating energy in the form of light and heat. So you can see this is the figure for energy, radiation of the energy in the form of light and heat. And here at this part we will use a plastic cover so that we can get the light, and that cover will be transparent, because in transparent we will get the light. So now we will see that what should be the energy gap of the semiconductor that we are using in construction of the LEDs. So energy gap of the semiconductor should be between 1.67 electron volt to 3.1 electron volt to get the visible light. So you need to remember this point, that if we suppose that if we want to construct the LED, then we need to choose such types of semiconductors whose energy band gap is lying in between 1.67 electron volt and 3.1 electron volt. So if we will select in this range, then only we will be getting the visible light. Otherwise, if we are using the energy band gap beyond this region, either high energy band gap or lower than 1.6 energy band gap, then we will get invisible light, that will be infrared rays. So now we are going to see when the energy is applied greater than or equal to the energy band gap of the number of free electrons in the lower energy state. So you can see from this figure. So friends, you can see this is the energy band diagram for the atoms. So if we are supplying the energy, that means if we are applying the forward biasing, then the number of valence electrons will jump to the conduction band, and only this is possible when the applied energy is equal to the forbidden energy gap. So the number of valence electrons will jump to the conduction band, and they will stay here for about 10 to the power minus 8 second. 10 to the power minus 8 second. This is the excited state times, and after staying this much time, this is very less time, they will jump to the valence band, or we can say that they will jump to the lower energy state by emitting energy in the form of light, and that energy will be equal to the forbidden energy gap. So this is the basic principle, and the color of the emitted photon depends on the wavelength or the frequency. So the color that we will get from the LEDs will be different, and that will be dependent on wavelength or the frequency of the applied energy, or we can say applied it will depend on the wavelength or the frequency of the emitted photons. So this is the relation of the wavelength and velocity. This is the wavelength, this is the velocity of light, and this is the frequency of the emitted photons. So you can see this is the visible spectrum range, that is from 400 nanometer to 750 nanometer. So the wavelength depends upon the energy band gap. Here previously we have seen that wavelength is related as C by F, and now we will see that the wavelength is also dependent on the energy gap Eg. So the wavelength can be changed by changing the energy band gap, and energy band gap is equals to Hc upon lambda, where H is equals to Planck's constant and its value is equals to 6.63 into 10 to the power minus 34 joules second, and here C is the velocity of the light. So you can see this is the bell structure. This is one of the curve which is showing the standard response of the curve of human eye. That means it is showing that how our human eye is going to respond to the colors. So you can see here this y axis is representing the luminous intensity. Luminosity, it means here you can see from this figure the green color is at the top. It means it will be more luminous to our eye at the wavelength of nearly 550 nanometer, and the red color will be having less luminosity. You can see from this figure at wavelength of 700 nanometer. So from this figure you can observe that the eye's response to the light energy peaks at green color and falls off at the blue and red color. So now we will see, you can see this is the relation we have seen, relation between the energy gap and the lambda, that is wavelength. And now we will study about the different types of LEDs. So basically there are two types of LEDs, that is visible LEDs and invisible LEDs. So the visible LED will produce visible light in the range of visible spectrum, that is from 400 nanometer to 700 nanometer. This is the range of visible light. And invisible light will produce infrared rays that will be invisible to our eyes, and its range is beyond the visible range. So beyond this there are various kinds of LEDs depending on the wavelength or frequency, or we can say color. There are various types of LEDs. So the first category is gallium arsenide, that will produce infrared rays. If we are using gallium arsenide chemical, then we will be obtaining infrared rays, that is invisible category. Second one is gallium arsenide phosphide, it will give red to infrared and orange color. Third one is aluminum gallium arsenide phosphide, so it will produce high brightness red color, orange red color, orange and yellow color. Fourth one is gallium phosphide GaP, that will produce red, yellow and green color of the light. Fifth one is the aluminum gallium phosphide, so this will produce green color. And the next one is, sixth one is gallium nitride. So if we are using compound semiconductor gallium nitride, then we are going to get green emerald green color of the light from the LED. And seventh number is gallium indium nitride, that will produce nearly ultraviolet rays. It means it will be invisible to our eyes. Bluish green it can also produce, and blue color. And the eighth one is the silicon carbide, that is SiC, so it will basically produce blue as a substrate. And the ninth one is the zinc selenide, that will produce blue color of the light. So these are the various categories of the LEDs based on the frequency, or we can say color of the LED. So friends, if you like this video, then you can subscribe my channel. Okay, thank you.